Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyatra Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saghanaraganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Sya Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanajana Shalakya Chakshuram Milidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gorva Bhistam Sapurakam Gunaganara Sisha Sambhushidam Chintya Chintya Samastaveda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govindabidam Ujwalam Bharatanam Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Bande Vishwagurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem Noe Bija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchandavaranam Balarka Chelanshidam Sandrananda Puram Sadekavaranam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Varam Bandetam Shivaram Madeka Sharanam Nyashishvara Shridaram Vanshakopatarubyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavenibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this is Mahaprabhu's teachings to Srila Sanatan Goswami. This chapter is about Abhidheya, the process of devotional service. Text number, chapter Madhya 22, text number 32. Vilajam manaya yasha statum ikshapate muya vimohita vikatante mamaham iti durdiya. The external illusory energy of Krishna, known as Maya, is always ashamed to stand in front of Krishna, just as darkness is ashamed to remain before the sunshine. However, that Maya bewilders unfortunate people who have no intelligence. Thus, they simply boast that this material world is theirs and that they are its enjoyers. Krishna tomarhana jadi bole ekbar Maya bandha hoite Krishna tare kore par. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if one seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if one seriously and sincerely says, "My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service." Sakrideva prapanoyas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vratam mama. It is my vow that if only one seriously surrenders unto me, saying, "My dear Lord, from this day I am yours," and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. This verse from the Ramayana was spoken by Lord Ramachandra, because Vibhishan, he was born as the brother of Ravana, the demon, but he always told Ravana that you're doing very wrong and you should return Sita to Rama, and that your lust will be the cause of the downfall of the whole kingdom of Laksha and the defeat of all the Rakshasas. And Ravana and his son was Indrajit. They couldn't stand hearing that advice. So they made Vibhishan leave. And then Vibhishan went over to the side of Ramachandra and the monkey soldiers. And immediately they were saying, "Oh, here is a spy. Can we get a seat for, no, a chair for? Someone took it. So when Vibhishan went over to the side of Lord Ramachandra and left Ravana, and who's his brother, then the soldiers on the side of Lord Rama with Hanuman and others, they thought Vibhishan was a spy. But then Lord Rama spoke this verse, Sakrideva prapanoyas tavas miti chayachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vratam mama. It is, the Lord says, it is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Now, this is good advice. You should try this. Try to say with all surrender and seriousness, pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours. From this day I am yours, like it said in the previous verse. My dear Lord Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. That's a good petition. If you say it with all sincerity and mean it, then the Lord will hear that. And you don't have to even speak Sanskrit or Bengali to say it. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami subudhi jadi hoy garabhakti jogitabe krishnere bhajai. Due to bad association, the living entity desires material happiness, liberation, or merging into the impersonal aspect of the Lord, or he engages in mystic yoga for material power. If such a person actually becomes intelligent, he takes to Krishna consciousness by engaging himself in intense devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna. This is Mahaprabhu speaking to Sanatan Goswami, Abhidheya, the process of devotional service. Akama sarvakamo va mokshakama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether one desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, if one is intelligent only if he worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. Akama sarva kamo va mokshakama udaradi tivreni bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. This verse is all inclusive. You know, you can desire nothing or desire everything. Because I've seen sometimes devotees, when they're very young, they consider that they've renounced the world. But after 10 years pass, they suddenly decide that, well, maybe not. But this verse is very, very good. Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo udaradi tivreni bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whether one desires everything or nothing, or whether one desires to merge into the existence of the Lord, one is intelligent only if one worships Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by rendering transcendental loving service. So, the good thing is that if you pray like this and engage in the Lord's service, the Lord will also get rid of anything that's on the level of nonsense that you present. By good association, you'll find out what you really want. I remember when I first came to Srila Prabhupada, I was recently initiated a new person, and I said something to him like, oh, I hear people are playing music and they're offering that to the Lord. And Prabhupada said, yes, you can do that if you like, but you'll still have to accept karma. And then he said, then I said, well, you know, it's hard to live in the temple and follow all the principles. He said, you don't have to live in the temple. What about and follow the principles? I was hoping you'd say, you know, you don't have to follow the principles. But he said, you don't have to live in the temple. And then he said, of course, you won't be part of our movement, part of our mission. You won't be part of our mission. Because I was, you know, I wasn't thinking in terms, I was thinking just...
You're allowed to live
but you won't be part of our mission. Things were a little strict in those days. And then I said, well, you know, it's hard to be a brahmachari. He says, well, if you like, you can get married. So then afterwards, people said to me, I can't believe it. We've never seen Prabhupada like that. Anything you asked him, he agreed to. And I said, yeah, he agreed, but he said if I did this, I would still have to accept karma. If I did this, I wouldn't be part of the mission. If I, you know, I said, yes, he agreed in that sense. So the next day I saw Srila Prabhupada. He was just passing by me, and I said, Srila Prabhupada, yesterday I asked you, and is it to be understood that if I did these things, that I would still have your blessings? And then Srila Prabhupada looked at me and he said, why are you asking so many stupid questions? He said, if you don't do what the spiritual master wishes, how do you hope to have his blessings? So then one can understand. It's not that you should ask the spiritual master what you should do. You should, like we always talk about, Yudamanyu Prabhu. What is it you want me to do? What can I do for your service? What will be pleasing to you? That's the question. That's an intelligent question, not just asking that the Lord will, you know, satisfy all your desires. That's not intelligence. Anyakami jadi kore Krishna rabhajan nam yage teha Krishna taridena svacharan. If those who desire material enjoyment are merging into the existence of the absolute truth, engaged in the Lord's loving service, they will immediately attain shelter at Krishna's lotus feet, although they did not ask for it. Krishna is therefore very merciful. He's very merciful and very clever too. Yeah. Krishna kohayama bhaje mage vishai sukh. Amrita chare vishamage e boramurka. Krishna says, if one engages in my loving service, but at the same time wants the opulence of material enjoyment, he is very, very foolish or stupid. He is very, very foolish. Indeed, he is just like a person who gives up ambrosia to drink poison. And one kind of poison is anything that has alcohol in it that tastes like poison. Nasty. But here we're talking about something worse, Vishai Sukh. Someone who wants happiness from Vishai, or material, squeezing some pleasure out of this material world and this material body. That's Vishai Sukh. Ame Vigya E Murke Vishai Kene Diba Svacharanamrita Diya Vishaya Bulaiba. Since I am very intelligent, the Lord is thinking, since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? Indeed, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. Still waiting for that. Since I am very intelligent, why should I give this fool material prosperity? And instead, I shall induce him to take the nectar of the shelter of my lotus feet and make him forget illusory material enjoyment. Now that's a very nice arrangement. Satyam dishati artitam artitoninam naivarta doyat Punar artita yata svayam virate bhajatam anicyatam ichapidanam nijapara palavam. Whenever Krishna is required to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly does so. But he does not award anything which after being enjoyed will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in the Lord's service, Krishna forcibly gives one shelter at his lotus feet where one will forget all other desires. It's a very hopeful consideration. Because we really don't know what's good for us. But spiritual master, Chaitya Guru, and the Lord, they know what's good for us. The spiritual master, some persons think that they don't need a spiritual master, but what is the purpose of a spiritual master? Well, I'll say, among other things, sure, you can get guidance from the books and you can get guidance from the sadhus, but a good thing about the spiritual master, and we've seen it happen, he can take the disciple by the shoulder and shake him. Well, we wouldn't do that so much with her, but still, we can. Someone else could be assigned to shake that person. You know. But they can shake the person and tell him, no, this is not a good idea. This is not a good idea. Kamalage Krishne Bhaje Pai Krishna Rase Kamachadi Dasha Hoite Hoi Abhilashe. When someone engages in Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, one gives up one's material desires and willingly offers oneself as an eternal servant of Krishna. So, someone goes to the Lord for the satisfaction of their senses, but in the process acquires a taste for serving Krishna. And one gives up one's material desires and willingly offers oneself as an eternal servant of Krishna. That happens. I remember when I came, I thought, we always heard very strongly these 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling. Of those 4, I thought, well, no meat eating, that's a good principle. Well, I don't know about the other 3. But I stayed in the association of the devotees, and then I gradually found there's nothing else except the association of the devotees in the service to the spiritual master. And I was very happy to see all my so-called old friends give up on me. That was very pleasing. In fact, once, and you know that person, what's her name? Aditi, yes. Once she told me, oh, a lot of your friends who know you, they want to come and meet with you. And I said, I was a little fearful of that idea, because I wasn't so saintly before. And I said, okay, I'll meet with them on one condition. They will come, but we will not talk about anything that happened in the past. We're not going to discuss any of our activities from the past. Everything has to be in the present. Everything has to be in the present. No talk about the past. And then I got back the message. Forget about it. Forget about it. What's he think? That we want to just come so he can preach to us? I didn't necessarily think I was going to preach to them, but I just didn't want to. I wanted to just discuss reality. I didn't want to discuss, past. Okay. When someone engages in Lord Krishna's devotional service for the satisfaction of the senses and instead acquires a taste for serving Krishna, one gives up one's material desires and willingly offers oneself as an eternal servant of Krishna. Stana bilashi tapasis titoham tvam praptavan deva muninam. Stana bilashe tapasis titoham tvam praptavan deva munindragulyam kacham vichinvan api dishyabratnam kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam swamin kritartosmi varam yache. Govinda Maharaj wanted to do away with italic letters, put everything in bold. You have it in bold?
Well, it's in Roman at least.
Yes, in Roman. Okay, that's very good. Stana bilasi tapasis titoham tvam praptavan deva munindra gulyam kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam Swamin kritartosmi varam nayache. When he was being blessed by the Supreme Lord, Dhruva Maharaj said, "Oh my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after a piece of glass, or I was searching after pieces of broken glass, but instead I have found a most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you." This verse is from the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. I remember this verse because I one time wrote this in a Vyas Puja offering to Srila Prabhupada. Stana bilase tapasis titoham tvam praptavan deva munindra gulyam kacham vichinvan api divyaratnam swamin kritartosmi varam nayache. When he was being blessed by the Lord, Dhruva Maharaj said, "Oh my Lord, because I was seeking an opulent material position, I was performing severe types of penance and austerity. Now I have gotten you, who are very difficult for the great demigods, saintly persons, and kings to attain. I was searching after pieces of broken glass, but instead I have found the most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I do not wish to ask any benediction from you." So part of emphasis. I was searching after pieces of broken glass, but instead I have found the most valuable jewel. Therefore, I'm so satisfied that I do not wish to ask anything else from you. That's feeling that way. One comes in contact with the great souls. Then one feels like that. I don't really need to ask you for anything, because I'm so fortunate I've gotten your association. Before I was looking after pieces of broken glass, things without any value, they just glittered. And I remember one man who had a store in Texas. It was in Houston, Texas. He had a store. And he did well. And he told me what his philosophy was for his store. He said, people are like crows. They like things that are shiny and bright colors. That was how he made money. People are like crows. Just stock things that are shiny and have bright colors. Think of what the attitude of people are who are taking advantage of this consumer society. You know, what is their attitude? Oh, this will sell. Rather, I was searching after pieces of broken glass, but instead I have found the most valuable jewel. Samsara brahmate kon bhagye ke hotare nadir bravahe jena kashta lagetire. The conditioned souls are wandering throughout the different planets of the universe, entering various species of life. By good fortune, one of these souls may somehow or other be delivered from the ocean of nescience, just as one of the many big logs in the flowing river may by chance reach the bank. How's that for a comparison? Very good. And conditioned souls are wandering throughout the different planets of the universe, entering various species of life, but by good fortune, one of these souls may somehow or other be delivered from the ocean of nescience, just as one of the many big logs in a flowing river may by chance reach the bank. Yeah. That's conditioned souls compared to the fortune of a big log that just happens to wash up onto the bank. Yeah. That gives you some idea, Sukriti. There are unlimited conditioned souls who are bereft of Lord Krishna's service, not knowing how to cross the ocean of nescience. They are scattered by the waves of time and tide. However, some are fortunate to contact devotees, and by this contact, they are delivered from the ocean of nescience, just as a log floating down a river accidentally washes upon the bank. So, Srila Sridhar Maharaj said the purpose of having a center or having a temple is to distribute Sukriti to the people. We're not like a bunch of little monks and nuns who are living in a monastery. We're meant to go out and distribute Sukriti to people. When I would go out, Govinda Maharaj, I remember when I first came to Govinda Maharaj, I saw that Srila Guru Maharaj was staying in Navadip, and I was very inspired. So I said, Srila Govinda Maharaj, I would like to stay here in Navadip. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said, what did you say? You want to go collect in Calcutta? And I said, no, Srila Govinda Maharaj, that's not what I said. I said I would like to stay here in Navadip. And Srila Govinda Maharaj said, I think it would be better if you went to collect in Calcutta. So that was decided. But that collection is actually, what is it? You can ask Bimala here. She's done it since she was that big. You know, the collecting means doing Guru Seva. What you're doing is doing Guru Seva and you're distributing Sukriti. So I did that for many years in Calcutta. And just like Parvat Maharaj, who recently passed away, he could hardly walk, but he would do 6 months of every year collecting in Calcutta. And as Goswami Maharaj used to say, anybody who can collect in Calcutta earns their stripes. Because that is not an easy place to collect. So that was very valuable service, to be able to go out and reach different conditioned souls and give them some Sukriti. Maivam mamadam shapi shad eva chuta darshanam riyamana kala nadya kvachit taranti kaschana. Because I am so fallen, I shall never get a chance to see the Supreme Lord. This was my false apprehension. Rather by chance, a person as fallen as I am may get to see the Lord. Although one is being carried away by the waves of the river of time, one may eventually reach the shore. And the Prabhupada Jivanamrita describes, when I heard that the Lord is known as Bhakta Vatsala, when I heard that he's very kind to his devotees, I was totally depressed. But when I heard that the Lord is Dinanath or Dina Dayadra, that he's very merciful to the dinas, to the fallen souls, then I was very happy. Because that person is saying, when I heard the Lord is known as Bhakta Vatsal, I felt depressed because he's kind to his devotees, but that person is saying, I'm not a devotee. I don't feel that I'm a devotee. So I was depressed hearing the Lord is especially inclined to his devotees. But when I heard that he's very merciful to the Dina Dayadra, that he's very merciful to the dinas, to the fallen souls, then I was very happy. Because that's a nice way of thinking of oneself, that I'm a fallen soul. We heard, Govinda Maharaj would say, sometimes he would say in his humility, I am a fallen soul. We never thought of him in any way in that way. We always thought of him as a Parsha devotee, eternal servant of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. But he'd say, I'm a fallen soul, Dina. So that's a good way of thinking of oneself. Bhava pavargo brahmato yada bhavids janasyatarhi achyuta satsamagama satsangamo yarhi tadaiva sadgato paravareshe tvai jayate rati. O my Lord, O infallible Supreme Person, when a person wandering throughout the universes becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, he gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened. You are the Supreme Personality of God, the highest goal of the topmost devotees and the Lord of the universe. O my Lord, O infallible Supreme Person, when a person wandering throughout the universe becomes eligible for liberation from material existence, one gets an opportunity to associate with devotees. When he associates with devotees, his attraction for you is awakened. You are the Supreme Personality of God, the highest goal of the topmost devotees, and the Lord of the universe. So what is that liberation? Brahma Bhuta Prashanatma Nasoshati Nagankshati Sarva Sarveshu Bhutanam Mad Bhakte Labate Param. One is on the liberated platform, free from anything mundane. At that time, devotional service begins. So, Krishna Jadi Kripa Kore Kona Bhagyavane Guru Antar Jami Rupe Shikaya Pane. In other words, devotional service is on the, we can say, Nirguna platform. It's beyond the material senses and the material nature. Krishna Jadi Kripa Kore Kona Bhagyavane Guru Antar Jame Rupe Shikayapane. Krishna is situated in everyone's heart as the Chaitya Guru, the spiritual master within. When he is kind to some fortunate conditioned soul, he personally gives him lessons so he can progress in devotional service, instructing the person as the super soul within and the spiritual master without. Now, in this case, it's really referring to Chaitya Gurus. Chaitya Guru is giving one instructions. Normally, what we consider Paramatma, that's more a little passive. In Svetasvatara Upanishad, it says there's two souls, Atma and Paramatma, within the tree, like two birds. Like two birds in a tree. One bird is jumping from branch to branch, tasting all the different fruits. Some of them are very sweet and nice, and some of them are exceedingly bitter or rotten. But he is jumping from one branch to branch, tasting. The other bird is just waiting patiently for his friend to stop with all this tasting business, and then they will fly away together. So that patient bird who is waiting, that is the Paramatma. But the Chaitya, that is a little passive, like a witnessing agent. But the Chaitya Guru is a spiritual master within that's giving you instructions. Although Srila Govinda Maharaj said, Guru Maharaj told him, can you follow me and not follow your mind? But Chaitya Guru is within. But the mind, which is engaged in material enjoyment, serves as in some countries you can't get radio or internet because why? They have interference broadcast. So the mind is always broadcasting interference, the false ego, working with the mind. So you won't get necessarily tuned in always to Chaitya Guru, but it's there. By the instructions of Chaitya Guru, perhaps many of you are here. Naivo payanti abachitim kavashyatavesha brahma yushapi kritam hridamuda smaranta. Yontar bahis tanubritam ashubam vidunvan acharya chaitya vapusha swagatim vyanakti. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as Acharya and internally as Chaitya Guru, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. Sadhu Sange Krishna Bhakti Shraddha Jadi Hoy Bhakti Phala Prema Hoy Samsara Jai Koi. By associating with a devotee, one awakens one's faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. By associating with a devotee, one awakens one's faith in devotional service to Krishna. Because of devotional service, one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, and thus one's material conditioned existence comes to an end. Yadrichaya madkatado jata shraddhastu yah puman na nirvino nati sukto bhakti yoga siddhida. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. Somehow or other, if one is attracted to talks about me and has faith in the instructions I have set forth in the Bhagavad Gita, and if one is neither falsely detached from material things nor very much attracted to material existence, his dormant love for me will be awakened by devotional service. So, neither falsely detached nor very strongly materially attached. And he hears, has some faith in the instructions of the Lord in the Shastra, and if he hears talks about Krishna, then that person, his dormant love will be awakened by devotional service. And I remember the example of Ramai Prabhu, who was our pujari here. He came to Krishna consciousness at a young age, but he told that they talked to him to try and encourage him when he was in school to have some what do you call it, his sights on some high level of material enjoyment. But his response to them was, why be president when you can be janitor? That was his philosophy. We liked that very much. They could see he was not a fit person for their indoctrination. Mahat kripa vina kon karme bhakti noi, Krishna bhakti duri rahu samsara nahi koi. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. How? Unless one is favored by a pure devotee. So, here's a point. Many people, they think that they have to go shopping and get the most qualified guru in the universe or in the three worlds. They have to just look and that's good, because it says, that one should question the guru and one should be satisfied. No one wants to get cheated. But that's only half of the equation. One has to do something to earn a place within the heart of the guru. That's the way I always thought in relationship with Srila Prabhupada. Or with Guru Maharaj and Govinda Maharaj, one has to earn a place in the heart of the spiritual master. It's not that just you will choose a guru. The guru has to be happy or satisfied with you. That's what this verse says. Unless one is favored by a pure devotee, one cannot attain the platform of devotional service. To say nothing of Krishna Bhakti, one cannot even be relieved from the bondage of material existence. So it's not just about finding the most qualified spiritual master. It's a question of earning a place in the heart of the spiritual master. And Srila Govinda Maharaj cited one thing. He said there was a devotee of Kali Ma who said, my dear goddess, Kali, today people are worshiping the goddess. I don't want anything from you, no material happiness or anything. My only desire is that you will give me some small corner in your heart, which to be. Well, that's may have been addressed by a devotee of Kali to Kali Ma, but it's also a good idea in relationship to the spiritual master. I don't want anything. I just want to gain some entrance into your heart, that you will be happy with me. Now, I don't know what it is I have to do to earn the happiness of the spiritual master. It may be, but this is Govinda Mela, so it's a good time to think about that. What can I do to earn the satisfaction of my spiritual master? How can I make my spiritual master happy? And of course, if you can do some genuine, heartfelt service to the spiritual master, he'll be happy with one. Rahuganaita tapasana yati na chejaya nirva panadgrihadva na chandasa naiva jalagni suryar vina mahatpada rajobhishekam. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajan or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshiping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyas or grihastha order. Nor is it attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajana or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshiping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyas or grihastha order. Nor is it attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. Now, these are forms of austerity. Submerging yourself in water as an austerity. Maybe you'll stay in water for several days or something like that. Maybe even underwater.
Where's the quote from?
What?
Where's this quote from? Is it Bhagavatam?
This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam 5:12:12. Jad Bharad. Herein tells King Rahugana how he attained the Paramahansa stage. Maharaj Rahugana, the king of Sindhu Savira, had asked Jad Bharad how he had attained the Paramahamsa stage. The king had called him to carry his palanquin. But when the king heard from Paramahansa Jad Bharad about the supreme philosophy, he expressed surprise and asked Jad Bharad how he had attained such great liberation. At that time, Jad Bharad informed the king how to become detached from material attraction. So who was that Jad Bharad? He was Bharat Maharaj, the king before. And that king had renounced his wife and family and gone off into the forest to attain liberation. And in fact, in the Bhagavatam, I believe it says that he gave up his wife and family and his palace and all his riches, just as one has no attachment after passing stool one leaves immediately. It's said in that way. Maharaj Bharata had no attachment, he went to the forest. But then what happened? He saw a deer running away, running in fear from a tiger and crossing a river, and that deer was pregnant, and a little baby deer came out into the water, right? And then Jad Bharat saw this happen, and he swam out to the deer and brought that little baby deer, cute little baby deer, brought him back to the shore. And then, although he had gone to the forest for self-realization, then he took care of the deer, and he fed the deer, and he bathed the deer, and he became like a father attached to that little deer. And he was always thinking of the deer. When the deer would go out, if it's gone too long, he's worried. Now one day the deer didn't come back so quickly, and it was dark, and Maharaj Bharat went looking for the deer, and in the process of looking for the deer, he fell to his death. Then what happened? First, because he was thinking of this deer, then he attained the body of a deer. Well, maybe as a deer he associated with some sadhus, and then maybe got some prasadam. But after that, in his next birth, he took birth as Jad Bharat. Now Jad Bharat was, as we've heard, he was like a avadut, right? He didn't talk to people, he didn't associate with people, but he was self-realized. He was a self-realized person. Then one day, Maharaj Rahugana was going, in fact, that Jad Bharat, some devotees of Kali were looking for a sacrifice, a human sacrifice to Kali. So they thought, here, this person, Jad Bharat, he's like a human animal. So we can sacrifice him to Kali. Well, what happened when he's being sacrificed to Kali? Kali came out of the deity and severed the head of all those dacoits, all those so-called devotees of Kali who were trying to harm pure devotee, pure soul. And then Jad Bharat was in the forest, and one time the king came through being carried by a palanquin. But one of the palanquin carriers, maybe his foot got hurt or something, so he could no longer, they needed another person. So they brought, this one looks strong, this Jad Bharat. So they asked Jad Bharat to carry the palanquin. But while Jad Bharat is carrying the palanquin, he sees ants in the trail. So he's hopping from one side to another, to one side. And the king's above in the palanquin. So the king becomes, is being jostled around, and he says, "Stop!" And he gets down and he begins to chastise Jad Bharat. And Jad Bharat, he calls Jad Bharat, "You fool, what are you doing?" And Jad Bharat says, "I'm neither a fool nor are you a king." And from that point, Jad Bharat, the king can understand something, and he understands from the conversation of Jad Bharat that he's a great soul, and he should take advantage of that. And then this quote comes from. This quote comes from Jad Bharat. Rahuganaita tapasanayati nachejaya nirva panadgrihadva nachandasa naiva jalagni suryar vina mahatpana rajobhishekam. O King Rahugana, without taking upon one's head the dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee, a Mahajan or Mahatma, one cannot attain devotional service. Devotional service is not possible to attain simply by undergoing severe austerities and penances, by gorgeously worshiping the deity, or by strictly following the rules and regulations of the sannyas or grihastha order, nor is it attained by studying the Vedas, submerging oneself in water, or exposing oneself to fire or scorching sunlight. Okay, so, and I like that term, gorgeously worshiping the deity. All right. Here. So now we'll sing Hari Haraya. You have anything?
Well, we were going to have a little welcome to the Govinda Mela talk this time on the schedule.
Okay, so could I end this and
Sure.
I'll end the class and then we have the Govinda Mela? Or should we just merge them?
Whatever you like, Maharaj.
Okay. Well, we'll just merge them, I guess, right? Okay. Do you want a microphone?
Yes, please.
Okay, take this mic. Easy, wait. It's caught on the leg. Okay, now. I think that's, wait, another leg.
Jai Saparikar Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Digit Haliju Ki Jai Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Maharaj Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Sripad Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Ki Jai
Jai.
Shri Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Rajaram Prabhu, all the assembled devotees Ki
Jai.
Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki
Jai.
Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki
Jai.
Shri Govinda Mela Ki
Jai.
Go Brahmanande.
Gaur Brahmanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Everyone, welcome. This is our first day of the Govinda Mela, and we're off to a good start. We've heard beautiful Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita from Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj, which we can say is some of the classic features or one of the special wealth of the Soquel Ashram. That every day you can come here and you can hear Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which gives us entrance into the life of Sriman Mahaprabhu and his teachings in an extraordinary way. We'd just like to welcome everyone to the festival, say a little bit about the purpose, the objective, the atmosphere we aspire to achieve in the festival, so that as we go on we can realize that and make it a success. So first of all, whenever a book is begun or a class is begun, then there must be a dedication. So this Govinda Mela is dedicated to our Gurudev Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj.
Joy.
And in doing so, we know that anything dedicated to him becomes inseparable from his Guru Maharaj, Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj,
Joy.
as well as to their eternal worshipable Lordship Sri Sri Radha Govinda and their combined form Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So by dedicating the Mela in this way, we are aspiring to serve the absolute truth as revealed in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Satyam Param that Srila Vedavyas has called everyone to meditate upon, and which Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Charitamrita has illustrated the ultimate expression of such meditation in the form of Prema Sankirtan as conducted by Mahaprabhu and his Parshads. So, the word Mela, Maharaj was mentioning, it might be useful to explain also the word Mela means a gathering or a coming together of things. So people have heard of the Kumbh Mela or the Ganga Sagar Mela or various things in India. And these are very ancient traditions within Hindu culture where people gather for some spiritual purpose. So, in a similar way, we want to gather together and for the service, in service to and for the satisfaction of Govinda, be it Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj or Anadi Adir Govinda, he who is Swayam Bhagavan himself. And the spirit of the gathering, as we hope to achieve, right, is the tagline goes, coming together in service, love, and Sankirtan. So in the world, especially in the summertime in the northern hemisphere, there are so many summer festivals, rock music festivals and camp out festivals and this festival and that festival and Burning Man and Bonnaroo and all these different things. People love in the summertime when the weather is good to get together and have a great time. So I can guarantee you we're going to do that too.
Yeah. Joy.
But we're not going to do it like that. Rather, as Gurudev said once on his Vasa Puja, when everyone was very happy and celebrating, he said, we are celebrating through service. The way that we celebrate is by doing service, not by sitting around and spending our money to get served. Right? All these other people, they spend their $400 or whatever it is, and then they camp out and everything's on hand and they have their food and their tent and everyone entertains them and they take drugs and they think, oh, this is so great. Right? So we're doing the ultimate antithesis of that. And we're saying, no, we're going to come together to do more service. We're going to come together to celebrate by expressing our hearts, by providing things for others, not by gorging our senses with some interesting environment for ourselves. So when we say coming together in service, that's what we mean. So for everyone who's come, then please come in that spirit. See how you can serve. See what sort of opportunity that may be. And that does, no doubt we love people to wash the pots, we love people to help out with setting up various activities and doing various things, but it doesn't only mean what is physically relevant or necessary, as much as anything to provide a kind listening ear to a friend, or to offer some support to another devotee who needs some, or to in any way ensure that everyone has an enriching and fulfilling experience at this festival. That is also service. It is not that service is one thing and socializing is another. Rather, moving on to that point, to really associate with devotees is to not socialize with them in a conventional manner. So while we're here, we can also keep that in mind, that when we're having social interaction, let's keep it spiritually focused. Let's talk about what we just heard in the last class that really inspired us. Let's talk about what service is happening in our community and what new developments happen that might provide some insight or some inspiration for others in another place. Let's keep the informal time also spiritually focused. And as much as people do that, that's what's really going to increase the impact and the value of this festival. And what you can't get anywhere else. Because you can go even, nowadays, Srila Maharaj is arranging programs at the Bhakti Fest and the Shakti Fest and these type of things. And there's some kind of so-called spiritual teaching of some variety going on there. But outside of that, it's conventional socializing and enjoyment again. Right? But a Vaishnava festival is beyond these things. A Vaishnava festival is where both the entertainment or the content and the actual fabric and interaction of the people is all spiritually focused. So that's a responsibility of everyone participating in the festival to uphold. And if everyone does that, I guarantee you it will be so enriching and heart-touching for all of us. So please, do your part and it will be fantastic. So that's, so coming together in service, in love and in Sankirtan. So love means not just, like peace and love, like I'm okay, you're okay, brother, welcome home, as some other event happens. But rather, in the context of Vaishnava culture, to come together in love means to treat everyone with respect, to treat everyone with forgiveness. Many people, have been part of the family for a long time. A lot of things have happened over the years. The Govinda Mela is a time to just let that aside. Let those things be past and remember the unconditional love that we received from Gurudev. Remember that environment that manifested around him when everyone was coming together with so much eagerness in their hearts to receive spiritual nourishment and to share that with other people in a very warm and affectionate mood. And to think that whatever may have happened in whatever circumstances, we can leave all of that aside for a few days and together nourish and nourish each other by focusing on the main connecting elements that we all share as a spiritual family, which means our connection with our gurus and the ideals that we aspire to serve all throughout our life. So by focusing on those things in an atmosphere of affection and forgiveness, everyone will feel very much warm in their hearts, and that's what we want people to feel. Gurudev manifested this place as a manifestation of Gupta Govardhan, as an ashram for people to do service, to get that kind of shelter. Right? Shelter doesn't just mean food and a house. Shelter means counseling, shelter means care, shelter means really having some holistic offering that will give someone all the different types of nutrients, so to speak, that they need to prosper in their spiritual life. So that's what we're going for. It's a high it's a high ideal, but if we don't at least try, we can't expect to get there. So we're at least saying these things and aspiring in that direction. And of course, service, love, and some kirtan. So let us have some enthusiastic Harinam Sankirtan.
Hori Hori.
So we can start with saying, Haribo! This afternoon we'll take to the streets. We'll go to Pacific Avenue for Harinam Sankirtan, and we'll try not to get the shopkeepers too upset with us.
Or the street musician.
Or the street.
What time will that be?
We'll leave here at 4:30, starting on the avenue at 5. So please feel free to join us, and if you'd like to drive and shuttle anyone else down, please let us know. And also, that will be the prelude to Friday, when we will have an all-day Harinam Sankirtan. Last year, 12 hours non-stop Harinam Sankirtan took place. Starting from 9 a.m., some kirtan on the bus, some kirtan off the bus, some kirtan back on the bus, some kirtan straight into the temple in San Jose, and also some kirtan prasadam in the Golden Gate Park, and then some kirtan all the way home. So who can tolerate that much Sankirtan? You get a seat on the bus. And if you can't handle it, then take a car or come later or whatever. We want the people who are up for it to be there for the all-day adventure. So, like this. Service, love, and Sankirtan. And our objectives are also that people will get some substantial spiritual education at this festival. So we have many exalted Vaishnavas who can speak very well about the Shastra, about the teachings of our gurus. So please come to the classes and come and listen and learn something, and then after the class tell someone else what you learned. And go home and then tell someone else what you learned in the festival. When you go home from the Govinda Mela, don't say, I had a really nice sleeping bag and the prasadam is so great. Sure, you can praise the prasadam, but please repeat what you heard. Please let people experience from this festival that there's some meaningful education that's happening that is preserving and propagating the legacy of our Guru Varga. This is our responsibility to keep alive. If we don't speak day in and day out about the teachings we've received, they will go extinct. And we have to keep them going. We have to keep them spoken. We have to keep that, so to speak, oral tradition alive. It's not just in the books, so to speak. It's in the books, but who can understand the books? That has to be sustained by the living tradition. So a festival like this is itself a vibrant expression of the living tradition, of the living form of the parampara, of the sampradaya. So it's so vital and necessary to keep up the integrity of our mission, if you want to call it that, to have these type of gatherings and have people take it seriously and learn what this is really about. So that's in the midst of the family reunion and the good times and the big meals and all of this. This is your duty. This is also your job, and is also a type of service, is to come and hear these things and learn these things, take them to heart, practice them in your life, and share them with others. And let other people let them know that if they come to the Govinda Mela, it's not a party, it's not just good times, they're going to learn something. They're going to have some valuable education that they might not have gotten here, there, or anywhere. And that is something progressive for our community as a whole. And let me just check my notes. I had a couple other practical announcements. I won't go on too much longer. I know we're almost time for the meal. a few practical tips is don't stay up late. And wake up early. Because it's easy to wake up early when you don't stay up late. So the party is at Mangalarati, not after Prasadam at night. Who's down? Alright, I'll see you there. Second tip, watch out for ticks. I even found one on me in my tent. So every night or sometime, especially when you take a shower, just double check, because we don't want anyone to have to bother with that and get distracted from all the good stuff that we got going on.
Make sure you're ticked off.
And just a couple other things about the social atmosphere. We're trying to create the warm and positive social atmosphere. So part of that is also to understand what's not that. So I don't want to go off on that, but just a few things to illustrate what are not what we're going for would be talking about who's excluded or not welcome or who didn't come or whatever. Everyone is welcome at this festival. No one is not welcome. This is a place where everyone in the family is welcome. So this type of atmosphere. Second point, we're not that into nostalgia. So let's talk about the present, let's talk about the future, let's talk about how we can go forward with the gifts and the mercy that we have. We don't want to sit around and just reminisce about how it was better before, or all this great stuff that happened in the past. Some of that, when it's relevant to teaching, when it's relevant to inspiring or sharing invaluable things with others who weren't there or didn't have that experience, is of course wonderful and necessary. But it's not that we just ride on the coattails of what happened before and that's what we taste. We want that something is living, something is happening, and that by discussion of the present, by discussion of spiritual principles, and by talk of how they can be applied and practiced in a progressive way in the future is bright, the future is something wonderful, not something that's uncertain and confusing, therefore we just talk about the past. Cool?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. And lastly, we all know that in the Upadeshamrita it is explained there are 6 ways by which affection is exchanged. To give gifts, to receive gifts, to feed others, to be fed, and to inquire from others, and to speak from your heart, or speak in confidence. So, do those things, and do them not only with the few people that you already know really well, do those with lots of people, and try to extend the circle in which you exchange this type of affection. That will build the bonds, build the strength of our community. And there's certainly no shortage or difficulty in doing so when there is an abundance of nectar in the atmosphere, so to speak, in the form of harikatha, in the form of association, in the form of kirtan, and so on and so forth. So, you'll see as we'll pass out the t-shirts today, which were beautifully designed again this year by Pandita Didi and Mahamantra Prabhu. That they feature the illustration of the concluding verse of the Prapana Jivanamrita. Shri Srimad Bhagavat Param Bhoja Maru Swarut Saber Shat Poder Nikshipta Maru Bhindavascha Parito Brashtad Mukad Gunjitai Yatnai Kinchidi Haritam Nija Parartina Shayar Tanmaya Bhuyo Bhuyo Vito Rajang Sipadasam Lagnani Tesham Bhaje. Saying that the feet of the Lord are like a lotus flower. And all the Vaishnavas are like bees that are coming and tasting the nectar in that flower. And that experience of gathering and buzzing and tasting is like a festival. And in the midst of a festival and in the inebriating effect of the nectar, some dancing, some singing, dancing at the same time in the midst of drinking happens, and inevitably something spills. And these spills are delightful because they enable others to collect and also have a taste of that type of nectar. So Guru Maharaj wrote that I am someone coming to collect that overflowing, spilling drops of nectar and array them here in this text known as the Prapana Jivanamrita. That is my worship of those great sadhus, those great bees, and that is also my offering or attempt to benefit others. So this, in some occasions, Gurudev described as his very favorite sloka. So we want that the Govinda Mela, as far as it is possible, will be a festival of that type. That it will be a festival of tasting this type of nectar in an atmosphere of abundance in which naturally it is distributed and shared with others. So,
I have a comment.
yes, Marsh.
Now, in this festival also, there's so many opportunities for doing service. And that's really of importance, whether it's here in the temple or when we go outside. But we actually do need servitors. And so many things about arranging and doing the festival requires, somebody may ask you, Prabhu, can you help in this way or can you do that? Whether it's in the kitchen or on the grounds or something, because there's many, many tasks. And I know, for instance, that Tyagi Maharaj and others, they've worked for months to try and arrange the Govinda Mela and that everything will go smoothly. So there's so many opportunities for service, and some persons may ask you to please do some service. They may ask you very nicely, or they may not ask you so nicely. But in any case, we're hopeful that everyone will be amenable to the idea of doing some service and helping where needed. So we used to hear the phrase, do the needful. So that would be very nice. People will be in a service mood and amenable to doing service.
All right. So that'll conclude our welcome. And lastly, I'll just acknowledge also Srila Maharaj. This festival would not happen without his encouragement, his blessings, and his support for it all coming to be. So we're all most grateful to him and indebted to him for enabling this festival to take place.
Jai.
Jai Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj.
Jai.
And we must also acknowledge Hasya Priya Prabhu, who has worked extremely hard over the last couple of months to prepare all the grounds for this festival, and also to prepare for the inauguration of the Sri Giriraj Raj Mandir at the top of the hill, which will be our climactic event on Saturday at midday. So there's a whole team of devotees that have been working on that, and we'll acknowledge and praise everyone regarding that on Saturday. But in particular, he's been extremely supportive and steady and solid in enabling this festival to continue this year. So we're most indebted to him. And I'd like also to acknowledge our distinguished guests who've traveled from afar. Devashish Prabhu has come all the way from London, Rajaram Prabhu all the way from Ecuador, and this year Sripad Nasi Maharaj was able to come from Utah, and Madhusudan Maharaj has come from the world, as he continues to do, most kindly for our benefit of everyone. And so many of you have also come. Praneshwari came all the way from Florida, Radharupini Didi came from Hawaii, Jai Balai Prabhu came from Canada, from Tijuana, and other devotees came from Canada, and from Kaylee Karamba came from Australia, so other devotees came from China, so devotees have come a long way to come and have this experience, as well as so many devotees locally have given so much support to help make this happen. So especially at the end of the festival, we'll give some acknowledgement to everyone, and we'd also like to hear from you, whatever appreciation you have. On the final evening, we'll gush from our hearts about how lovely it all is. But we won't get too excited about that now, because we have lots to do in the meantime. So that's it. Welcome to the Govinda Mela.
Where is the schedule posted so they can see the schedule?
The schedule is posted on the wall, entrance to the Prasadam Hall. It's also, I believe, on the welcome table, and if anyone would like a PDF, it's being texted around, so feel free to forward it to anyone or ask for it, and a lot of people have it. So please check out the schedule, make note of the schedule, participate as far as possible. Would you like to say anything, Braja?
Do we want to say anything about Seva sign-up sheet, or should I do that after breakfast?
Sure, if anyone can sign up to take on any particular Seva responsibilities steadily throughout, please do so. That would be a great help to all of us, especially Sanatani Didi is very busy in the kitchen these days, and also sadly Sureshwari Didi this week has fallen a bit ill, so we need especially a little extra support in that department to make everyone sumptuously fed and smile with delightful Bhagavad Prasad that has been offered to Guru Gauranga Gandharika.
Thank you.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
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 Madhavaya Madhavaya Kesavaya Namaha.
Madhavaya Madhavaya Keşavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinata Madana Mohana.
Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sadagara Seva Sadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Rupa Sanatana Avatara Guna. Jai Rupa Sanatana Avatara Guna. Jiva Gopala Bhata Dakara Guna. Jiva Gopala Bhata Dakara Guna. Jai Gosai Kori Sharana Banda. Jai Gosai Kori Sharana Banda. Jai Vignana Sapura. Jai Gosai Jar Muitarva. Jai Gosai Jar Muitarva. Rasavara Padarenu Mura Panchaga. Rasavara Padarenu Mura Panchaga. Adira Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniva. Adira Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniva. Janame Janame Moreya Vila. Janame Janame Moreya Vila. Jai Gosai Jave Braje Kailava. Jai Gosai Jave Braje Kailava. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Praka. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Praka. Anande Bolo Hari Vaja Vrindavan. Anande Bolo Hari Vaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyayama. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhyayama. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Kariya. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pada Padma Kariya. Nama Sankirtana Kohe Narotamoda. Nama Sankirtana Kohe Narotamoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Saparigara Sri Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Ki
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Parabhajaka Charya Ashtatara Sarasri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramansa Parabhajaka Charya Ashtatara Sarasri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakakshira Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Temple Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Brahmachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Ragana Shri Jiva Gopal Bhattadash Ragana Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudhi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavad Ki Jai. Nartam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Vishvavaranya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Nanta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Sri Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sri Kuladip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Yamuna Jo Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Sri Govinda Mela Ki Jai. Sripad Bhakti Kamal Tyagi Maharaj Ki Jai. Sripad Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai. Sripad Bhakti Vigraha Nyasi Maharaj Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanand
Jai Om Sripad Srila Bhakti Pavan Janardan Maharaj Ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.